Alright, we're live on YouTube. Looks like we are live on Rumble. Good afternoon, hello, and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. I'm AO Xander.
Golden Loon.
And UVRU, thank you so much for coming in and watching us. Today is Saturn's Day, aka Saturday, January 31st, 2026, the end of the month.
First month of the year gone.
Yes, just about.
Now all your sound on this time around?
Yes, I'm double checking, making sure, yada yada. Yep, it looks like it.
Good.
So anyway, this show is about interesting and important events that happened to date throughout the annals of recorded history, starting with the year 314. Saint Sylvester I began his reign as Catholic Pope. He was consecrated as successor to the late Pope Miltiades. Pope Miltiades, okay. I had to sound that out one. Moving on up to 1606, gunpowder plot. 4 of the conspirators, including Guy Fawkes, were executed for treason by hanging, drawing, and quartering for plotting against Parliament and King James.
Oh.
And told me to image search this, so I would. Remember, the 6th of November. I believe it's the 6th. So, it's telling me to image search this. Hold on one moment. Oh yeah, right here. It shows all their names.
Oh.
Open image in new tab. So Guy Fawkes was right here.
These are all the guys who were executed?
Well, 4 of them were.
Okay.
Guy Fawkes here being one of the 4,
Yeah.
but these were all conspirators. It was a conspiracy to blow up the British Parliament from the sewers.
Overthrow the government.
Well, no, they not just overthrow, but they were going to kill them all. They were going to blow up the English Parliament from underground in the sewers. And they actually, I think they got so far as to have it stockpiled. I'm not sure whether or not they actually had it in place ready to go, but they were caught, like, with not much farther left for them to do before it actually occurred.
It almost got set up.
It almost got done, yeah. So, and Guy Fawkes was like the guy in charge of the actual. No, he wasn't the ringleader, but he was. No, he wasn't the ringleader, but he was a guy in charge of a section of it. He was like in charge of the munitions or something, but not the planning and all that stuff. Somebody else was in charge.
Yeah.
You know, like the ringleader finds people to be in charge of other things.
Yeah.
Like everything's a pyramid scheme when you think about it. Moving on up to 1616, rounding of Cape Horn for the first time by Dutch expedition of Jacques Lemaire and William Corneliszoon Schouten. They named the Cape Horn after Schouten's hometown.
Can you imagine that the first time? I mean, that water is so rough down there.
Oh yeah, well here's
it's just
here's an image of it.
Yeah.
So, 1675. Cornelia/Dina Oldfarts was found not guilty of witchcraft. What a name.
Old Farts, huh?
Old Farts. Olfaarts. Old Farts.
I'm going to just call them Old Farts.
Takes one to know one.
I won't argue that.
1696, a revolt by undertakers after funeral reforms in Amsterdam occurred. That's the last people you want to start revolting.
Just don't forget who invented walking farts.
Well, it wasn't you, but you mastered
the
them.
term.
Yes. Yeah, you coined the term. 1696, we got that one. 1703, the 47th Ronin, under the command of Oishi Kiranosuke, avenged the death of their master by killing Kira Yoshinaka. We spoke about that yesterday. 1747, the first venereal disease clinic opened at London Lock Hospital in London. And here's an image of it. Why do I keep clicking that? There we go. It's a cool looking building. So, 1779, French astronomer Charles Messier added M57, the Ring Nebula in Lyra, to his catalog. Do not have a photo of that. 1814, Gervasio Antonio de Posadas became supreme dictator of the United Provinces of the Rio de la Plata, known today as Argentina. Yep. 1846, after the Milwaukee Bridge War, Genoa Town and Kilburn Town unified as the city of Milwaukee in Wisconsin. So I had no idea that I think it was a battle of sovereignty, and then they just unified under a different name. But it seems like you had 2 different towns on either side, and they're trying to spread to the other side. Then they unified and they became Milwaukee. But here we have a depiction. You kind of see some fighting on the actual bridge.
Yeah.
So it was an actual conflict, not just a political one, but I think there was actual fighting. 1848, John C. Fremont was court-martialed for mutiny and disobeying orders. I wonder if he has anything to do with Fremont Street. Because I've heard of the name John C. Fremont a couple of times.
Well, I've heard there's streets around named Fremont or schools or whatever. So.
Well, that's why I was saying Fremont Street in Vegas.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was named after this guy.
Could be.
Because, well, then why was he court-martialed?
Not quite right. 16. What's that?
1848. Well, this is when he was court-martialed.
Yeah.
Well, why am I image searching this?
Fremont's not uncommon.
There we go. 1849 here, corn laws were abolished in Britain. It says here, the laws allowing the British government to restrict the import of corn is known as the Corn Laws. These laws were abolished because the industrialists and urban dwellers were unhappy with high food prices, as a result of which they forced the abolition of the Corn Laws. Okay, because it was too high price. That makes sense.
Yeah.
1851, the San Francisco Orphans Asylum was founded, becoming the first in California. It's really disturbing to know, such a thing is needed, but such a thing is unfortunately needed.
Yeah.
You need to look out for the orphans.
Yeah.
Moving on up to 1854, the Dutch KNMI, the Royal Meteorological Institute, was established. That's pretty cool. 1855, the Treaty of Nebe-Macaw Reservation established in the U.S. territory of Washington for Macaw Nation, preserving tribal rights but ceding over 300,000 acres to the U.S. government. That doesn't sound like a fair deal right there. 1855, Western railroads were blocked by snow. That would do it.
Yeah.
1861, the state of Louisiana took over the U.S. Mint at New Orleans during the U.S. Civil War. Or I guess the American, not the U.S. Civil War, but the North American Civil War. Because Mexico has had several civil wars, and they're in North America. So, like what makes ours the American
Mexico
Civil War?
Or Central America?
No. It's Canada, United States, and Mexico.
And then it starts down in Panama. Is that it for the Central?
Yeah. But, as far as continents, Central America is kind of more of an official and unofficial region.
So it's more North and South. North
Yes.
America, South America. Forget Central.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, as far as
Panama down
continental
is
place.
South America.
I mean, they might be on their own, smaller plates, but, the big tectonic plates are the continental plates. So, 1862, astronomer Alvin Graham Clark made the first observation of Sirius B, first known white dwarf star, in Cambridgeport, Massachusetts, while testing his new telescope.
I'm trying to remember what a white dwarf star is.
It's a star that's been
I can't remember.
it's been compressed down, and it's a smaller star, but it's very luminescent.
Yeah. Its energy has totally been compressed.
But there are I'm not sure which one. I think the white dwarf begins several different subcategories, because you have a pulsar, then a magnetar, then of course a black hole, red giants. There's so many variants.
Yeah.
It starts to get confusing if you're stupid like me, of course. So, but this is an image of it, I believe. This is what the best looking image. Actually, this is from 2021, so I'm not sure if this is the same one, but this is Sirius A and B. So yeah, this is Sirius B, which is a star. And the telescope itself was 18.5 inches or 47 centimeters, if located at Northwestern University. 1863, the first black U.S. Civil War regiment, the South Carolina Volunteers, were mustered into the U.S. Army. All right.
Yeah.
1865, Congress passed by a vote of 121 to 24 the 13th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, abolishing slavery in the United States except as punishment for a crime. So, but then who dictates what's a crime?
Well, yeah, there you go. That's the same. That's always the deal.
Well, then you can look into the private for-profit prisons. You can look at how, off-kilter and unfair our justice system is, and there's so many cracks in the system, and it's by design. 1865, General Robert E. Lee was named Commander-in-Chief of Confederate Armies during the U.S. Civil War. Mm-hmm. And the whole reason why he even joined the Confederates is because he actually sympathized and supported the Union, but he was defending
his homeland.
It's Virginia, specifically, his home, which so happened to be Confederates.
Yeah.
but he was fighting against people he agreed with. You know, it's a real, you know, it's a real conundrum.
Well, he had to stay loyal. He had to stay loyal to his homies, so to speak.
Yeah, but had he decided to ally with those he agreed with, the Civil War would have been massively different, because then we'd have Virginia right off the chute. We'd have him, and we probably would have stomped it in less than a year. Honestly,
maybe.
You know, because
but you don't know who would step in if he wasn't there. You never know. He was an exceptional general.
Well,
he single-handedly, with his decisions,
well, that's what I'm saying.
Single-handedly, really extended the war. He outfoxed.
Well, I mean, like, no, when you think about the Civil War, you think about the Confederates, obviously Robert E. Lee, but you don't really think, like, nothing's really coming to my mind, really, any other major generals. Meanwhile,
Ulysses S. Grant.
I'm talking about the Confederacy.
Oh no, the Confederacy, yeah.
Now, meanwhile, you have Ulysses S. Grant in the Union. Then you have Stonewall Jackson, which we actually know. Hold on a second.
Well, these are all the winners. Of course, you're going to hear them more.
Well,
trust me. If the South had down in the South, you'd know the first 10 generals. If they had seceded, it'd be a different country, but still, that information would be.
I mean, you have a point.
Heroes.
You have a point.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, you know, for me as a historian, you think I would have, like, learned something at some point by now. But
the old saying, winners write history.
Yeah. 1871, millions of birds flew over western San Francisco, darkening the sky. That must have been nightmarish. 1874, the Jesse James gang robbed a train at God's Hill, Missouri. 2 years later, the United States ordered all Native Americans to move into reservations. Disgusting. Like, what we did to them was awful, and, like, at least we didn't just annihilate them, you know? So many, like, many...
some tribes did.
Yeah.
Some tribes were, I meant.
Very true. 1891, the first attempt of a Portuguese revolution broke out in the northern city of Porto, Portugal. And then 2 years later, the Westminster Gazette began publishing. 1895, Jose Marti and others left New York City for the invasion of Spanish Cuba. Makes me wonder, are they leaving to fight on our side or on Cuba's side? Jose Marti and others, they left New York City because we spoke a couple days ago about people leaving the UK to act as human shields against the U.S. invasion of Iraq the second time in 2003. So I wonder what side these guys are going on.
Well, I don't know what the skirmish was then.
Invasion of Spanish Cuba. So this is the Spanish-American War. This is when we took Cuba.
Ah, okay.
The Spanish-American War.
So it belonged to Spain, and now it's just totally independent. It doesn't belong to us.
Well, we still own Guantanamo Bay.
We own a little nook in there.
Yes. That is sovereign U.S. territory.
That's Spanish culture down there, so it never got assimilated. Although we financed and backed Castro.
Yep.
To go in and overtake Batista.
Yep. That bit us in the ass. So did the Taliban with his Osama bin Laden. He was a CIA asset. We built the Taliban to fight against the Soviets in Afghanistan in the 70s. It was a proxy war. Anyway, in 1900, the final report of the U.S. Philippine Commission was released, favoring territorial government for the islands with home rule on local affairs, but with U.S. assumptions of ultimate responsibility for the government. All right. 1905, the first automobile to exceed 100 miles per hour. It hit 161 kilometers per hour by equivalent. The British daredevil Arthur G. MacDonald drove a Napier six-cylinder racing car named Samson on the sands of Daytona Beach, Florida, notching a top speed of 104 miles per hour. All right. 1906, strongest instrumentally recorded earthquake, then recorded at an 8.6 to 8.8 on the Richter scale, occurred off the coast of Ecuador in Colombia, killing over 1,000 people. Wait, 1,000 or 100? Wow. Hold on a second. It says 1,00. So is it 1,000 or 100? Zero.
It's got to be 1,000. It's got to be that kind of destruction.
1,000, 100 or 1,000. That's something I'm going to look into next year when I get around to this. 1915, World War I. Germany became the first to make large-scale use of poison gas in warfare during the Battle of Bolimau against Russia. Wait a minute, what was this? Oh, this is the slave thing, emancipation.
We haven't
The
done that yet.
No, we did. It was in the 1800s something.
Oh, okay.
No, so and here's an image I think of the use of the poison gas.
Okay.
Maybe in testing, I'm not sure, but they're doing that. 1916, Dutch Girl Guides formed. No idea what that is, but yeah. 1917, during World War I, Germany notified the U.S. that U-boats will attack neutral merchant ships when Kaiser Wilhelm II ordered the resumption of unrestricted submarine warfare. Stupid, but there's nothing he can do.
Yeah.
You know, he was just.
Well, we were supplying Britain.
Well, we were in it by this time, 1917,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
somewhere in 1917 we joined, but it wasn't until 1918 when we had actual boots in the ground. So. 1917 as well, Mexican President Carranza announced a new constitution with many liberal elements, most of which his regime was unable to implement.
What country is that?
Mexico.
Oh, okay.
Mexican President Carranza.
Okay.
1918, a series of accidental collisions on a misty Scottish night led to the loss of 2 Royal Navy submarines with over 100 lives and damage to another 5 British warships.
Wow.
That's catastrophic.
Yeah.
Like, can you, for however comical it may sound, just, bong, bong, bang, boom, 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 just, all these ships banging into each other, that's, yikes. 1918, during the Finnish Civil War, the Sedukala Massacre occurred, which changed the nature of the war in a more hostile direction, and it took place in, Kangasala. Alright? We also have the Battle of George Square took place in Glasgow, Scotland. Troops delayed against protesters for fear of a Bolshevik uprising. And the other source says during a campaign for shorter working hours. So
Scotland.
Yeah. So I think I have 2 sides of the story here.
Yeah.
1920, we have the first daily Ukrainian language U.S. newspaper, Ukrainsky Shlondeny Visti, or Ukrainian Daily News, began publishing in New York City, publication initially sponsored by the Ukrainian section of the Communist Party. Oh, that's not good. 1920, Quebec Bulldogs center Joe Malone set NHL record with 7 goals in a 10-6 win against Toronto St. Patrick's at the Quebec Arena.
Good old hockey.
Yep. 1923, Montreal Canadiens beat Hamilton Tigers 5-4 at the Mount Royal Arena, Montreal. First penalty-free game played in NHL history. Now
More
that
hockey.
is, yep.
Yeah, and that's weird.
Yeah. 1924, Austrians Helene Engelmann and Alfred Berger won the pair skating gold medal at the Chamonix Winter Olympics, defeating Finnish pair Ludovica Jacobsen and Walter Jacobsen by just 0.39 seconds. That is
Close.
very close.
Yeah, less than a half a second.
Yep. Well, of course, yeah. More like really close to 1/3 of a
100,
second.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. 0 point.
Yeah, 0.39.
Yeah,
So
less
like
than a
1/3
half.
of a second. 1/3. Well, slightly over 1/3.
Yeah.
1924, Herma Suzbao of Austria won the ladies figure skating gold medal at the Chamonix Winter Olympics, the only women's event at the Games. All right. Well, congratulations to her.
The only women's event. That's what's shocking.
Yeah. 365 days later, Albanian parliament announced itself a republic and selected Prime Minister Ahmet Zogu as president. Another source says that the same guy became president of Angola, but this says Albania. So did Albania become Angola? I thought they were. Oh, I don't know if they were 2 different countries or not.
You know what? I don't know either.
Oh.
I would assume they're different countries, but I may be mistaken. I really don't know.
Huh. Well, yeah. Anyone? I would look it up right now, but we gotta keep going. So, can somebody please just let us know in the comments section? 1927, International Allied Military Command in Germany disbanded. So that has to be after occupation and everything.
Yeah.
We also have the National League ruled future Baseball Hall of Fame infielder Roger Hornsby cannot hold stock in the St. Louis Cardinals and play for the New York Giants. Earns $2,916 dividend on the same day. Huh. Well, that's that's not good. 1928, Scotch tape was first marketed by 3M Company.
Scotch tape.
Scotch tape.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's an original bin right here. Looks
Wow.
like. Yeah.
Been around a long time.
Before they had the rollers,
Oh yeah.
I mean, that that begs the question: what came first, the roller or the roll? It looks like it appears to be the roll.
The roll would definitely be the
And
first.
you would think that the elevator would come before the elevator shaft, but actually the shaft came first.
Yeah, it was in a building. Yeah.
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 1928 as well, Leon Trotsky was exiled to Alma-Ata, Turkey. And we're going to be talking about him here in a year. But 1929, we have Erich Maria Remarque, who published his anti-war novel, Im Westen Nichts Neues, Nothing New in the West, in Berlin. That kind of sounds like All Quiet on the Western Front. Nothing new in the West.
Well, yeah.
1929, Leon Trotsky was expelled from Russia to Turkey.
Yeah.
Well, we just spoke about that. He was exiled to Turkey. Yeah. So, but 28 and 29? Did they exile him twice, or is there
I think there's a date problem there because it's the same date. Nah, that's just someone says it was 28, one says it's 29.
Yeah. Well, I want to know which one one it was.
They ended up killing him, right?
Oh yeah, eventually.
In Mexico, was it?
I believe so. Yeah. Let me.
Yeah, that's okay. It was Mexico.
Cause of death: assassination.
Yeah, it was Mexico.
Mexico City. Yeah, there we go. Moving up to 1930, the first U.S. glider from a dirigible occurred, taking place at Lakehurst, New Jersey. Can you imagine, like, popping off one of those big balloons or a dirigible or whatever, and in a glider just?
Well, I'm trying to figure out what a dirigible is.
Well, let me show you. I'll image search this really quick. It's the large blimp.
Oh,
huge hot air balloon, but like
term.
A dirigible. One of these.
I've never heard that term.
Yeah. But here we go. It's very small, but you see that there's a glider attached to the underbelly.
Yeah.
And we actually, you remember the scene in Indiana Jones where they were escaping out of the giant balloon in an airplane?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing like this, except
okay.
their aircraft was powered. But this is, here's a better shot. Open image news tab.
Yeah.
You see?
That is awesome.
But how you get in, because they don't launch with somebody just sitting in there. You actually climb down and climb into it while how many ever thousands of feet you are. You're
go get in the plane.
Yeah.
Screw you! I'm not getting in there.
Yeah, I know, right? Moving on up to 1933, Adolf Hitler promised parliamentary democracy.
Sure.
34, FDR devalued.
That's trying to get elected.
Yeah. 1934, FDR devalued U.S. dollar in relation to gold at $35 per ounce. We really do got to get back on a gold standard.
It was $35 an ounce for years. Never changed. That's not real. Then they took us off the gold standard or whatever it was and let it fluctuate on its own.
That's not good. We need to have something like that we can hold in our hands. That's something tangible.
That's called gold.
Yeah. We got to get back on it. 1936, the Green Hornet radio show was first heard on WXYZ radio in Detroit.
Well, supposedly Fort Knox has a bunch of gold in it. We don't know if it actually does. But we're supposed to have a ton of gold that backs the dollar. That's the point.
Well, the dollar is backed by itself. It's not actually backed by a gold
the illusion
standard.
of the gold being there because nobody knows.
1941, an anti-German demonstration took place in Haarlem, Netherlands. In 43, Chile broke off relations with Germany and Japan.
Good for Chile.
Yep. While that was going on, 1943 as well, after having been promoted to the position recently, German Field Marshal Friedrich Paulus surrendered to Soviet troops at Stalingrad, the first Nazi field marshal to do so. Nazi field marshals until then always died, be it KIA, self-elimination, or assassination. 2 days after this, the remainder of his Sixth Army also surrendered, thus ending one of the war's fiercest battles, the Battle of Stalingrad.
Yes.
We spoke about this yesterday, and remember I surmised, was this the guy in Stalingrad? Yes, it was.
Yeah.
1944, Operation Overlord D-Day was postponed until June. So,
that's almost 4-5 months.
Yep. Because of weather and everything.
Mm-hmm.
1944 as well, during the Anzio campaign, the 1st Ranger Battalion, Darmy's Rangers, was destroyed behind enemy lines in a heavily outnumbered encounter during the Battle of Cisterna, Italy. Never forget them. 1945, Soviet troops reached the Oder River, less than 50 miles from Berlin. Like, the Oder River, was it smelly? 1945 as well, the U.S. Army Private Eddie Shlovick was executed for desertion, becoming the first of such execution of a U.S. soldier since the Civil War. Yikes. No, don't desert. We also have about 3,000 inmates from the Slutenhof concentration camp were forcibly marched into the Baltic Sea at Palmanikin, now Yantarny, Russia, and executed.
Jeez.
Yeah. 1946, Yugoslavia adopted a new constitution, becoming a federal republic, modeling that of the Soviet Union, established 6 constituent republics: Bosnia and Herzegovina, Croatia, Macedonia, Montenegro, Serbia, and Slovenia. All right.
Had a lot of wars, and after that broke up, they started warring like crazy.
Oh, yeah. 46 as well, the Democratic Republic of Vietnam introduced the dong to replace the French Indochinese piastre at par. So as far like goes, like as a 1-to-1. So, yeah, like I would have loved to be a wealthy man back then, because then I could be like, going around slinging the dongs around, 1948, an unprecedented 3-way tie for the silver medal in the 500-meter speed skating at the St. Moritz Winter Olympics. Americans Robert Fitzgerald and Ken Bartholomew and Thomas Byberg of Norway were equal to 43.2 seconds. The Finnish Hengelason of Norway Finn Hengelason of Norway won the gold at 43.1 seconds.
And now they go down to the hundreds of seconds. So,
yes.
They have the difference now.
Yep. We also have J.D. Slangler's short story, A Perfect Day for a Banana Fish, appeared in the New Yorker. All right?
That's something like, it sounds like you'd like to read,
Yeah.
Banana fish, awesome.
Yeah, you might find that appealing.
Oh.
A real page
Why
turner.
did I open that up for you?
Cover to cover. 1948 as well, the magnetic tape recorder was developed by Wireway. Here's an image of it.
Huh, Wireway, never heard of that. The
Yeah.
company didn't go anywhere, I guess.
Well, neither did, proving my point, I don't even remember their name. The frickin' Cookie Company, preceding Oreo.
Yeah.
Clorox or something.
Yeah, they're still around, but
Yeah,
obviously
but
it is Clorox.
No.
That's-
Clorox is a chemical.
Yeah.
It's
my goodness.
we'll figure it out.
Clorox or something like that.
No, it sounds
I'm not
like
saying it
a
right.
chemical. Yeah. Anyway, 1949, we have the first U.S. daytime soap opera TV, or soap on TV. These Are My Children on NBC in Chicago occurred. 1950, U.S. President Harry Truman publicly announced support for the development of a hydrogen bomb, thermonuclear weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. 1951 as well, United Nations Secretary Council Resolution 90 in relation to the Korean War was adopted.
Go ahead.
And then 365 days later, 1952, the Detroit Tigers, Harry Heilman, and Pittsburgh Pirates, Paul Wagner, was elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame.
I just want to jump back on the nuclear weapons. Your mother sat in
Yes.
Nevada.
Yes, in
watched
Vegas.
those things test.
Yes. She saw the mushroom clouds from a
Yeah.
distance. That would have been wild to see, but also terrifying.
And you hope none of the air currents are going your way.
Yeah.
But apparently they went up into southern Utah. A lot of people got cancer and everything else up there.
Well, I was going to say...
Although your mom did end up with leukemia, so
Yeah.
you wonder.
Yeah. I was going to say something nasty, like, they're just Mormons, so...
Oh, come on.
Just giving shit. 1952, a Dutch Lutheran church reunited after 1.5 centuries. That's 150 years.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a long time. 1953, a hurricane-like winds flooded the Netherlands, drowning 1,835 with an additional 300 in the United Kingdom. Yikes. 53 as well, Major League Baseball, New York Yankees, Cleveland Indians, Boston Red Sox retaliated against St. Louis Browns' Bill Veeck for trying to relocate the team, scheduling the Browns to play afternoon games to avoid sharing TV revenues.
That's odd. The Browns were a football team.
Oh.
Those Browns that were a football team. Maybe I'm mistaken somewhere.
Well, this is the St. Louis Browns' Bill Veeck.
Yeah. So I don't know. 52. Who remembers or what it is? What year is that?
53.
Okay.
Well, these are baseball.
No, I know they're baseball, absolutely. But the St.
But why would they be upset with him moving a football team?
They're not. My mistake. I mean, I'm saying that I always thought the Browns were a football team.
Well, there's one way
But
to
obviously,
find out.
they were a baseball team at one time back in the 50s.
Well, let's see here. St. Louis
I'll
Browns.
be damned if I didn't.
North American Professional Baseball Team. Okay.
Yeah.
So there we go.
I just was unaware of it, and you're thinking 53. I was old enough to be aware of that. Well, not necessarily.
1955, the RCA demonstrated the first music synthesizer, and that's what this image is. This is
Oh,
a
cool! Synthesizer.
Yeah. And actually, I want to show you something truly insane. So, crazy.
Emerson, Lake and Palmer took that to a new level.
Yeah, there's this hearing. I want to show this to you. This is wild. If it loads.
Hit it, Joe!
What a bizarre machine.
Hauser!
But yeah, isn't that a wild machine?
Now, is he making that or just?
Yeah, no, that was all. Every note was him. He was putting.
Okay.
You saw him pushing all the buttons, pushing the levers, pulling the thing
So
for
weird. That
all
is
of it.
so cool.
It's like a one-man band thing,
Yeah.
but a whole mechanism. So
One-man marching band.
yeah. 1955, 1956, Austrian skier Tony Saylor won the slalom at the Cortina d'Ampezzo Winter Olympics for his second gold medal of the Games, sweeping all three alpine skiing events.
Wow.
Yeah. 57, 8 people on the ground in Pacoima, California were killed following the mid-air collision between a Douglas DC-7 airliner and a Northrop F-89 Scorpion fighter jet.
Never heard of Pacoima, California.
Neither have I. Pacoima? Pacoima.
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 Okay.
Okay. All right.
That's okay.
Passamaquoddy.
Yeah.
1958, during the Cold War space race, the U.S. launched its first artificial satellite, Explorer 1, which led to the discovery of Earth's radiation belt by James Van Allen and his team at the University of Iowa, naming it the James Allen Radiation Belt. So, which is like, it's this whole point of contention between believers and skeptics of the moon landing and everything else, and whether or not we even have an ISS or anything like that. It gives potential credence to even flat Earth theories, depending on which way you want to think. Yeah, the Van Allen belt is a massive tool in a lot of different points of view and variances and whatnot. Yeah. 1961, Project Mercury, Ham the chimpanzee, became the first primate in space, traveling 158 miles aboard Mercury Redstone 2. We also have Houston voters approved a bond to finance luxury dome stadium.
I thought the Russians had a dog first.
Well,
not.
The first primate in space, not the first animal.
Okay.
And yes, the Russians did
There's
have a
the
dog.
hook. There's the hook.
It was a female dog.
Wow,
So-
you know more than I do.
Yeah. Well, because,
Did they leave her then?
I think she burnt up on re-entry. So, 1961, USAF launched SAMO spy satellite to replace U-2 flights. All right. 1962, Samuel Gravely assumed command of destroyer escort USS Falgut, becoming the first black Stadian to command a combat ship. Congratulations. 1963, Tony Sheridan and Beat Brothers, later known as the Beatles, recorded What I'd Say and Ruby Baby.
Oh, yeah. What did I say?
Yeah, by the Beat Brothers, later known as the Beatles. 1964, a rigged constitutional referendum in Ghana saw a 99.91% vote in favor, turning the country into a one-party state and making Kwame Nkrumah president for life. Yeah, that's bullshit right there. The first president of Ghana. Wow, he just didn't want to give it up. What a piece of shit. Could have gone down in history, as a great thing, 1965, 19th century pitcher James Pud Galvin was elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. 66, Belgian state police killed 2 striking mine workers. It's not nice. 68, Nauru, formerly Pleasant Island, declared independence from Australia, the UK, and New Zealand, becoming the world's smallest republic. We spoke about that yesterday. Remember, I made the joke, formerly Pleasant Island, what happened? It's no longer Pleasant?
Yeah.
It's no longer an island? What's going on? 1968, Vietnam War, Viet Cong guerrillas attacked United States Embassy in Saigon and other attacks in the early morning hours. These were later discovered to be part of the Tet Offensive.
Yeah.
1970, Grateful Dead members and entourage were busted down on Bourbon Street in New Orleans, Louisiana on LSD charges.
Deadheads.
Yep. 1971, Apollo 14 launches, becoming the first to land in the lunar highlands. It was carrying astronauts Alan Shepard, Stuart Roosa, and Edgar Mitchell on the Saturn V. And yeah, it became the first landing in the lunar highlands, from Morrow Highlands specifically.
One of the Deadhead original band members just died this week.
Oh, I think I heard about that. What's the name?
I can't remember right offhand.
Let's look it up here really quick. Deadhead band member recent death. Bob Weir.
Yeah. Okay.
Of the Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
What did he play? Was he the drummer or? Yeah, I know he.
Guitarist and founding member of the Grateful Dead.
Yeah, was a guitarist. I was going to say guitarist, and I go no, because what's his name was also a guitarist.
Oh. Well, rest in peace, Bob Weir.
Yeah.
1971, Dave Bancroft and George Weiss were elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. 71 as well, Special Veterans Committee added 6 former players and 1 executive to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Dave Bancroft, Chick Beckley, Chick Haffey, Harry Hooper, Joe Kelly, Rube Marquardt, and George Weiss. Did we speak about George? Yeah, right here.
Just back, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so these two are connected. Let me,
yeah, very much so.
Yeah, so, tie in. All right. 71 as well, the Winter Soldier investigation organized by the Vietnam veterans against the war with the aim to publicize war crimes and atrocities by the U.S. and their allies in Vietnam began in Detroit. A lot of fragging, of villages and all that stuff. Just burning things down, napalm.
Yeah.
War is hell, though, 1972, Aretha Franklin sung at gospel singer Mahalia Jackson's funeral at the Greater Salem Baptist Church in Chicago, Illinois.
Well, you talk about a powerful voice, Aretha Franklin.
Yep. We also have British Home Secretary Reginald Maulding to House of Commons on Bloody Sunday. Quote, the Army returned the fire directed at them with aim shots and inflicted a number of casualties on those who were attacking them with firearms and with bombs, end quote. Just let Ireland be free. 1972, the U.S. launched HEOS A2 for interplanetary observations. 396/244,998. 1976, Love Roller Coaster by Ohio Players hit #1. Kind of sounds like Roller Coaster of Love. We were talking about All Quiet on the Western Front, something sounding. So we have 2 instances of people's works. One is literature, and this is music. Sounding very similar to another product. 77, Frenchman Francois Cluster was freed after 33 months as hostage in Chad, Africa. 77 as well, Joe Stuhl, Amos Russi, and Al Lopez were elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. And the Promptu Center, designed by architects Renzo Piano and Richard Rogers, housing the greatest collection of modern and contemporary art in Europe, was inaugurated in Paris. And I actually want to see what this building looks like. Let's see here really quick. Oh, this one. So this is what it's supposed to look like. Which, there we go. It's all scaffolding and looks interesting, but it also looks, kind of, I don't know. It looks like a giant...
it looks like scaffolding to paint your house with or something.
Well, it looks like a giant... It looks like a giant Connect set. So, 1978, Israel turned 3 military outposts in West Bank back into civilian settlements. Or into civilian settlements. I'm not sure if they were civilian settlements.
Or in my case, a Rector set. That would be my age.
Yes. For those of you who do not know what an erector set is, if you know what the movie The Sandlot is, the toy, with all the metal stuff they put together and all that thing, that's an erector set.
Yeah.
So, 1978, the crown of St. Stephen, also known as the Holy Crown of Hungary, went on public display after being returned to Hungary from the United States. It was held in the U.S. for safekeeping during World War II, most likely in Fort Knox. Speaking of Fort Knox.
Got back to him, yeah.
Yep. 1980, police stormed occupied Spanish embassy in Guatemala City, killing 41 people. Why? We also have The Tide is Higher, #1 by Blondie, hit #1. You don't remember that song?
I remember her, but I don't remember her songs.
I don't know.
Oh, God.
That's how it goes. I don't know the words, but that's how the tune goes.
I'm sure that's how it goes. I don't.
Okay, well, 1982, 10 Arabian orcs, extinct except in zoos, were released in Oman.
What? Say that again. Read it again.
So, Arabian orcs, which is a species of orcs, they were extinct except in zoos.
Oh. Okay.
They released 10 in the wild,
Okay.
and hopefully they've increased their numbers.
Well, we should know by now.
Yeah. 1983, in an effort to reduce driving deaths, a new law in the UK required drivers and front seat passengers to wear seatbelts.
There you go.
All right. 85, South African President P.W. Botha offered to free Nelson Mandela if he denounced violence. I don't think he ever was a supporter of violence. No. This P.W. Botha guy, he was the most notorious leaders and proponents of South Africa's apartheid system.
Yeah, I remember that guy.
Well, no, between P.W. Botha and F.W.D. Clerk, they're both old, balding white men with 2 initials before a last name. So I'm trying to make sure, was this the piece of shit sleazeball? Yes, he is. So, you know.
He grew up in that system, believed in the system.
Yeah. But to sit there and accuse Nelson Mandela of advocating violence, what a piece of shit.
Well, see, that's the trick. See, he doesn't accuse him.
Yeah.
He wants him to say that he doesn't believe in it.
Yeah.
Indicating that he used violence.
Yep. Political trickery. 1986, Mary London, Minneapolis, the first female recipient of an artificial heart, received her donor heart. This is what happened. 1990, the first ever All Sports Daily National began publishing. And the first McDonald's in the Soviet Union opened in Moscow.
The what? First what?
McDonald's.
Oh, I remember that.
Happened on this date in 1990.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah. That's
made the news here in the U.S.
36 years ago.
Yeah. People were lining up around the block to make a week's wages or something.
Yep.
To get a burger.
Yep. 1991, a U.S. pilot, Robert Gibson, flew a record 27,040 feet, or 8,242 meters, altitude in a horizontal flight over Houston, Texas. This has since been superseded. Okay. I'm going to just take that off there. 1991, the Denver Nuggets' Michael Adams became the shortest NBA to get a triple-double. So I guess they measure by, your actual stature.
No, his height.
Yeah, stature.
Yeah.
1994, Barcelona Opera Theater, Gran Teatro del Liceo, built in 1847, burnt down for the second time. It was rebuilt and reopened in 1999.
See, height is a very, very
key thing in basketball.
Key thing in basketball, whether it's a guard, whether it's a center, a 7-footer.
Oh, absolutely.
But also you're too small to be a power forward, so you got to be a small forward. So height is prevalent in all of that, every position.
Oh yeah. 1999, U.S. President Bill Clinton authorized a $20 billion loan to Mexico to stabilize its economy.
I wonder if they ever paid it back.
I don't think so. 1999, Final Fantasy VII was released by Square Enix and Sony Computer Entertainment to PlayStation. It's supposed to be Square Enix. 1999, Seth MacFarlane's Family Guy first aired on Fox Television. All right. To the bane of your existence. You did not like that show.
No.
It is stupid. In the year 2000, family general practitioner Dr. Harold Shipman was jailed for life for murdering 15 of his patients, making him Britain's most prolific convicted serial killer.
Now, did I hear that right? Shipman?
Shipman.
Oh, Shipman. Okay.
Yes. Year 2012, Governor George H. Ryan issued an indefinite moratorium on executions in Illinois. And we also have linebacker Ray Lewis was involved in a fight that resulted in the deaths of Jackson Baker and Richard Lawler. Lewis was indicted 11 days later on murder and assault charges. Murder charges were later dropped. Okay. 2003, the waterfall rail incident occurred near Waterfall, New South Wales, Australia, resulting in the deaths when the train driver had a heart attack and the safety system failed.
Wow.
Like, that sounds like something out of a movie.
Yeah.
You know?
So he has a heart attack and the safety system fails?
Yeah.
Come on.
Like, these people were destined to die. 2007, suspects were arrested in Birmingham in the UK, accused of plotting to kidnap, holding, and eventual beheading of a serving Muslim British soldier in Iraq. Jesus. We also have emergency officials in Boston mistakenly identified battery-powered LED placards depicting characters from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I remember this. I remember when this made news, and it was hysterical. Like, it was, the ones I saw were of the Moonanites.
I don't even know what that's about. That makes no sense to me.
Well, they mistakenly identified battery-powered LED placards depicting characters from Aqua Teen Hunger Force as improvised explosive devices, aka IEDs, causing a panic. Now let me show you really quick. So, images. See, it was right here. This placard right here. That's one of the Packard. And this is a Moonanite. That's a character.
Yeah.
They were 2D creatures. They were from the moon.
Yeah.
And they actually, like, this little purple one jumped up and, like, turned 180 degrees. He plugged into the top one here, and then they formed a super laser. You know, it's a weird show.
Yeah,
but
I've never seen it.
Yeah, you thought Family Guy was bad? This show makes Family Guy look like The Godfather. Okay, this was trash. Now, that's why I found this hysterical that they were confusing depictions of cartoon characters from Aqua Teen Hunger Force, no less, as terrorist devices. Are you kidding me?
Now, I have seen, I don't know if it has anything to do with this, but I have seen that image, that cup with a face with a straw bent out of it. I've seen that before.
That's Master Shake.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know where I've seen it from.
Probably from something else I've done.
Probably.
Like, because I've seen the show for a long. I saw the movie, actually.
There's a movie?
Yeah, actually, there's
I've
at
never
least.
even heard of that.
There's actually one movie. At least. Anyway, 2009 in Kenya, at least 113 people were killed and over 200 injured following an oil spillage ignition in Molo. Days after a massive fire at a Nakumatt supermarket in Nairobi killed at least 25 people.
Whoa.
So already there's a thing that killed people, and then the oil spill ignited and killed a lot more. Explosions and burnings and all sorts of nasty. 2014, the Utah Jazz honored Jerry Sloan by raising a banner featuring the number 1223. And 2015, 17-year-old Lydia Ko of New Zealand became the youngest golfer in men's or women's golf history to be ranked number 1 in the world.
Wow.
Congratulations. 2015, Atlanta Hawks set a new NBA monthly win record as they moved to 17-0 for January with a 91-85 win against the Philadelphia 76ers. 2015 Pro Football Hall of Fame inductees Junior Seau, Jerome Bettis, Charles Haley, Will Shields, Tim Brown, and Mick Tingelhoff. That's a name? 2016... Yeah. 2016, the world's best chef, French-Swiss Benoit Voyateur, was found dead after an apparent self-deletion weeks after being named world's best by La Liste.
I thought maybe he ate something he cooked.
So I think maybe he got depressed because now he achieved his dreams and he had nothing else to live for. Without the prey, the hunt, without the hunt, what is the hunter? So... 2017, Romanian government passed emergency decree to release prisoners and decriminalize corruption charges, triggering huge protests in Bucharest. Yeah? I'll reread this to you because this is ridiculous. Romanian government passed an emergency decree to release prisoners and decriminalize corruption charges.
I agree.
What the hell? We also have U.S. President Donald Trump fired Attorney General Sally Yates after she instructed Justice Department officials not to defend Trump's travel ban. Yeah, justified.
You can't departure from your commander-in-chief.
Yeah, no, she should
on your own.
She should be executed for treason. Honestly, no, that's a treasonous act. 2018, Houston guard James Harden became the first player in NBA history to log a 60-point triple-double with 60 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists, 4 steals, and a block in the Rockets' 114-107 win over Orlando Magic.
We talked about that yesterday.
Oh.
How did it get in here again today? Someone has their date wrong.
Well, maybe. I don't know.
60 points, yeah.
Or did you bring it up yesterday while we were talking about something else?
No, the
Or-
only reason I would have known it is because it was an article. I'm not going to remember that he scored a triple-double with 60 points.
Okay. 2018, the Trump administration formally suspended the Clean Water Act, whatever that is. And 2018, both.
It's all about power.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what it's about.
2018, both a blue moon and a total lunar eclipse of the heart occurred. 2019, at least 20 newborns and children have died in the last 2 months of the cold trying to get to the Al-Hol Syrian refugee camp, according to the World Health Organization. So they're refugees or something, and they didn't make it in the travels. That's awful. 2019 as well, Catholic leaders in Texas named 286 priests and others accused of sexually abusing children dating back to 1940. I hope they all see the business end of a rope. All of them. Every single last one. Even the ones who are already dead. Kill them again. 2019, colonization of the Americas in the late 1500s killed so many people. It cooled the planet and led to a little ice age, according to a scientific report published in Quarterly Science Reviews. That sounds like horse shit. That sounds like horse shit. I even have, from the other source, in parentheses, more liberal lies, question mark. So, yeah, no, come on. You know,
Well, first off, look at the date. Have we had an ice age?
well, no, it's saying that in the 1500s,
Have
killed
we
so...
had an ice age since the 1500s, is what I'm saying?
Well,
No.
maybe this is how they're trying to pass off how the climate has changed.
Yeah.
That devalues their whole argument, saying that climate change is... Because climate change is a thing, and I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's not, but...
Climate
like,
always changes.
Yeah, exactly. It's, you know, it's not as if not throwing away your or like not using a plastic straw is gonna blow the planet up. You know.
Well, back in the late 60s,
They had global cooling. Yeah.
global cooling.
Yeah.
That was the big deal.
Yeah. Moving on up to 2019, a leaked Indian government report stated an unemployment rate at 6.1%, highest since the 1972 through 73. It was up from 2.2% in 2011 to 12. Yikes. And those are the people that are being cataloged. We also have a new government in Lebanon, finally formed by Prime Minister Saad al-Hariri 9 months after election. And U.S. Border Agency seized its biggest ever fentanyl bust, nearly 254 pounds, hidden in a tractor trailer in Nogales, Arizona. Wow. I think I think I remember hearing about this. That's enough to kill everybody in the entire country. Like, 2020, United Kingdom formally withdrew from the European Union. This is Brexit, with Article 50 ending its 47-year membership. 2021, widespread protests in Russia against detention of opposition leader Alexei Navalny and the government, with 5,000 people arrested. I remember talking about this in the news show and everything. And this guy, Alexei, I think he was eventually like poisoned, assassinated or something. It says here, yeah, murdered while in prison as a political prisoner.
Oh, jeez.
So I think it was poison.
Put a hit on you, then get you anywhere.
Yep. Well, no, like he was in the prison, so...
Yeah, I know. They
Yeah.
can get you even in prison.
Well, of course, they own the prison.
Yeah.
That's the first place they'll get you. Once you're in the prison, you're fucked. 2022, British government report found a failure of leadership led to parties taking place in Downing Street when UK under strict lockdown amid a police investigation. This was when disheveled British, looking Trump, Boris Johnson, was having his party after his...
Guy was an idiot.
The guy's an ass. 2022, online world puzzle Wordle bought for low 7-figure sum by the New York Times. So
What is that?
Wordle.
Puzzle.
It's an online game, like an app.
Oh, okay.
It's called Wordle.
Okay.
It's some word game, some
Yeah.
puzzle thing. You can play with multiplayer and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
The IP was bought for
Yeah, I got
a
it.
low 7-figure number by the New York Times, the newspaper company.
Yeah.
Which you'd think in 2022, a newspaper company would not be buying anything.
Maybe they're trying to diversify.
Yeah,
That is the point.
probably. I mean, Mazda, we went over it. They started off as a cork manufacturing company.
Yeah.
And was it Mitsubishi started off as bicycles?
I forget which one of them did. I'm not sure which one.
One of them did.
Yeah.
So,
Could have been Honda.
Anyway, 2023, Pope Francis landed in Kinshasa on a visit to the Democratic Republic of Congo, the first papal visit to the country since 1985. Awesome. 2023, the last Boeing 747, the first wide-bodied airliner, was delivered to Atlas Air and operated for Apex Logistics. The aircraft was registered as N863GT and named InPower. So if you find it, it's a historic plane. It's the last of its kind. Yeah. 2024, Meta CEO or Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, and social media companies Discord, TikTok, X, and Snap, X being Twixter, reprimanded before a U.S. congressional hearing for not doing enough to protect children online. Yeah, they're all in the same boat, you know? 2025, U.S. Department of Justice fired more than a dozen federal prosecutors who investigated the January 6th riot, and many of the FBI agents who investigated the riot or participated in the search for classified documents at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. And that shall conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar in the description for any links that you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. A lot of history has and continues to be made on a daily basis. We can only bring you a portion. Please check our sources. It is up to you to find the artifacts of our history, but only if each individual reaches out with and for open mindfulness and a yearn to learn, to see outside what you think you know, to grow and to find enlightenment. We have to find common ground with those who see their opinions differently from your own and find a better way to be better to one another. For your dose of past events daily, we stream every day at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. For all of you and all of us, I am Alexander.
Golden Loon.
And you until you catch us next time, whatever that is, wherever that is. Don't forget, we have IOYO tomorrow, which is...
That's right. I'm okay, you're okay.
Yep. And don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!